Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers of the conference on such a great development. So just in 5 years, the conference has turned to be one of the leading venues in the world to discuss global international security matters. The competence of participants, the intellectual potential, the in-depth discussions testify to the fact that it's one of the most interesting and significant venues where one can sincerely discuss all issues relating to world security. According to our estimate, the contemporary international situation can be described as extremely difficult and even critical, showing a stable trend for deterioration. Attempts to impose Western values on the states of the Middle East and North Africa, and in fact it was an attempt to seize control over hydrocarbons of the region, led to the emergence of bloody standoff in Iraq, Libya, Yemen, and Syria. Egypt was on the brink of the abyss, and everywhere we saw that the participation and involvement of terrorists who united themselves under the banner of ISIS and other major terrorist groups. And there was a massive migration from those areas, and hundreds and terrorists infiltrated into the streams of refugees. Interference in the internal affairs of the states, encouragement of the overthrow of regimes, led to the emergence of conflict areas in the former Yugoslavia, in North Caucasus and in Transcaucasus. By the way, even today, IGIL or ISIS militants are being treated in medical hospitals of Turkey. It was the same in Chechnya in 1990s. When Chechen militants were receiving medical treatment in Turkey. The coup d'etat and subsequent civil war in Ukraine, sponsored by the Western countries, led to one of the most complex problems of the modern time. And attempts are continuing to achieve dominance through the build-up of military forces in the close proximity of the responsibility area of the collective treaty organization forces. Military bases, command posts are being set up in the territory of the Baltic countries, Romania, Bulgaria, and others. Intelligence operations are being intensified by the NATO against Belarus and the Russian Federation. Flights of reconnaissance aircraft in dangerous proximity to the Russian borders have become common. Apart from the above challenges and threats, there is still a probability of the escalation of the so-called frozen conflicts. In recent days, we can see that the threat of that remains to be Nagorno-Karabakh. Instability leads to the intensification of activities of criminal groups majoring in drug trafficking, illegal migration, and human trafficking. To overcome that dangerous situation, world community should join effort. It's next to impossible to survive all by yourself in this contemporary world. In order to ensure security and stable development and independence of and territorial integrity, the OSCE have developed its respective forces. It's true that the priority is attached to political collaboration and cooperation. Our main objectives here are for external relation cooperation, the development of the parliamentary ties with international institutions, and it is also important to counter such conventional challenges as drug trafficking, international terrorism, illegal migration, and cyber crimes. An efficient instrument to counter the above threats is the special operations conducted by my organization. Just a few operations alone in 2015 helped us to seize more than 35 drugs, several thousands of weapons, thousands of third-party state citizens were withdrawn from the Russian Federation. More than 22,000 of information sources were identified that are related and associated with the threats to the collective security. And nearly 19,000 of those information sources were closed. In order to enhance the efficiency of our joint actions in the format of the organization, we are establishing respective arrangements. However, under the instability conditions of the world, main attention is paid by the OSCE to the improvement of the military component of the organization. It is based on the CSTO forces, which are composed of bilateral and multilateral task forces, rapid deployment forces, Air Force component, and collective component. It's also joint air defense systems, command and control posts, special operations forces, and in order to support our operations, we conduct regular training exercises. Main attention is paid to training the joint deployment and joint employment of our forces. In 2015, we had on-site inspections when task forces had to be relocated very quickly to the proximity of the Tajik-Afghan border, and the outcome showed high readiness of the task forces. Based on that, we improved our training program. Given the situation in the world, the priority here in training is attached to the intelligence information sharing and improvement of training of reconnaissance elements to locate terrorist groups that can infiltrate into the territories of the CSTO member states. The recent developments make it possible for me to say that we can successfully use our tactical elements in order to counter terrorist elements and criminal gangs. That is the reason why special attention is paid to combat training as well as the training of special forces and our reconnaissance and intelligence elements. As a conclusion, I can say that the establishment of the CSTO tactical forces improve the situation with the security for all our member states. And in conclusion, I would like to outline the main topic that is being discussed over the past days, and that's about the build-up of broad international coalition to counter terrorism. You know that following blooded terrorist attacks in Russia and the United States, an international global counter-terrorist coalition was set up in a very short time, and thanks to the coordinated efforts, significant success was made, and terrorist activities decreased throughout the world. We can say it openly that this entire terrorist coalition of that time was consolidated around the United States because the United States featured the most powerful national security system, and it was a country which suffered a lot, even most, from terrorist attacks. However, double standards and differentiation between task forces and friendly forces and others, support of some insurgents and countering other intentions, the use of the principles of those who are not with us, those are against us, and trying to eradicate any dissent and exercising political pressure on some countries actually led to the collapse of that, in fact, broad international anti-terrorist coalition. And after that, we saw again the rise of terrorism and the establishment of quasi-states of the terrorist nature. Terrorists received access to large financial resources and were able to recruit a great number of militants and fighters. So it's not about fighting or not fighting terrorism or we can do that. Professionals know how to do that. The question is how we can again build that broad international coalition and on what basis. I think that we can follow such a way that first we can establish a network collaboration and coordination between international organizations focusing on international security under the very strict supervision of the United Nations. I think it could be Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it can be CSTO, it can be OECD and others, African Council, which could start coordinating our efforts. We could start with just making a list of potential terrorists, and based on that, all countries involved could take some measures. And second level, countries can be consolidated around those states that have proved to be fair and continuous opponents to terrorism, and those who have acquired expertise in countering terrorism. I think there is every opportunity to identify Russia or China as the core state which could consolidate the Shanghai Cooperation Organization member states or CSTO member states. And if this approach is followed, and if there is a political will, then I think we will resolve the task of building a broad international coalition. Thank you.